In the starting scene, we see that a stranger goes to a remote hotel named Renata so that he can get a little break from outside world and get some peace. There, the hotel manager comes to him and goes to drop him to his room. It seems that the stranger is a little disturbed. He starts fixing the things in the room. After resting for a while, he comes out and roams around the hotel. Before returning to the room, he checks the pool and snooker room. All this time, something is going on in the mind of the stranger, as he is looking curious and confused. As soon as night falls, he turns off the light to sleep. Cannot sleep. That's why he starts television, which has only one channel, Animal Planet. Then he goes to the hotel bar and meets the bartender, makes a drink for him. But the stranger reads the rule that he will not get any liquor after 9 o'clock at night, so he refuses to take a drink. The stranger goes to the dining hall to have breakfast and sits next to an old woman. He has a red book in his hand, but he does not pay attention to it. He looks here and there with surprise and curiosity. The old woman tries to talk to him, but the stranger's attention is elsewhere. After breakfast, he's going towards his room. That's when he sees a girl named Ginny doing yoga. He looks at her for a while, and as soon as she sees her, he leaves. Then he looks at the hotel manager, who is sticking templates on the wall. He has his paralyzed wife on the wheelchair, who is staring at the stranger, who looks a little scary. In the next scene, the stranger goes swimming. After swimming a little, he lies on the chair with a red book in his hand. Ginny also comes to swim in the pool and dives in the water. The stranger falls in love with her beauty, because of which he is unable to take his eyes off. After a while, she comes to sit next to him and starts talking in a flirtatious way. Before the stranger can say anything, Ginny's lover comes and takes her away. In the evening, the stranger goes to the hotel bar, where the bartender gives him a cigarette. The stranger looks at the no smoking rule this time. Then the bartender tells him that these rules have to be followed on time. The stranger understands what it means and lights a cigarette. He is smoking for the first time, so he coughs. Being him coughing, the bartender takes the cigarette back from him and shows him the right way to smoke. As soon as night falls, the stranger goes to his room. He hears the sounds of Ginny from the room next door. His heart beats rapidly. The next day, as soon as the stranger is going for breakfast, he sees the bartender peeping into an old woman's room. The stranger feels bad about this, so he scolds the bartender and drives him away. But after a while, he himself peeps into the room and is shocked to see that the old woman has left the old man's screams. After breakfast, the stranger goes to the snooker room, where he meets a man who calls himself a businessman. As soon as they talk, the stranger asks if the businessman finds anything strange in the Renata hotel, to which he replies in no. Seeing him upset, the businessman gives him a pill and tells him that after taking this pill, he will feel very energetic. The businessman is ready to give as many pills as he wants, but he has one condition. The stranger will have to help him find a lost key. In the next scene, the stranger suddenly bumps into the maid. As soon as they collect their luggage from the floor, the stranger tries to talk to him. She asks why he is in Renata. The stranger has no answer, and the maid leaves. Same evening, all the guests gather in the dining hall, where the hotel manager announces a program along with dinner for their entertainment. To perform the first performance, the paralyzed woman is brought to the stage with her son, who is a bartender. The bartender uses his mother as a puppet, telling scary jokes. Here we notice a strange thing that the guests react only when the stranger looks at them. It seems as if his gaze triggers their reaction. After the first drama, the stage welcomes the daughter of the hotel manager, who is a maid. She sings a wonderful song that everyone likes. As soon as the song ends, tears start flowing from the maid's eyes. After dinner, the stranger takes the same pill and goes to sleep. When he wakes up the next morning, he feels himself more energetic than before. He gets refreshed and completes his morning routine, which inspires him to take more pills. The stranger decides to help the businessman find his key. After some time, he meets the paralyzed woman in the hallway and notices the locket around her neck. He thinks that this could be the key he is looking for. The stranger puts his hand inside his clothes so that he can remove the locket. After this, he picks it up and checks his back pocket. Finally, he finds the key. The stranger gives the key to the businessman and goes to his room to take pills from him. There, the hotel manager is playing cards with him. He asks the stranger to join the game, for which he agrees. Then the hotel manager leaves. The stranger and the businessman continue to play. As soon as he gets a chance, the stranger gives him the key. In return, he gets a bottle with a few pills in it. The businessman asks the stranger to play one more game. After winning, he will get a big bottle full of pills. He agrees to play and also wins. He takes both the bottles of pills and leaves. Later, the stranger is swimming in the pool. When he sees the bartender in the pool, he talks about last night's performance. The bartender tells the truth that the hotel manager forces him to do all that. He says that the manager controls him, and threatens him. While talking, the bartender slowly comes to the stranger. Seems as if he's about to kiss the stranger. Or maybe it's the maid who comes at the right time. In the evening, as soon as the stranger is bathing, someone suddenly comes to his door. He sees that the bartender has come to invite him to a family dinner. The stranger hesitates at first, but he agrees to come there. Later, he goes to the hotel manager's house for dinner. There, he notices that despite being part of the family, the maid has not been seated with him to eat. The stranger asks the reason for this, but the manager says that she will eat after serving. There is no special conversation between them there. The stranger does not understand what to do with these losers. After a while, the manager and his son start arguing about Renata's rules and regulations. After enduring for a long time, the stranger quietly gets up and leaves. In the middle of the night, he hears the maid crying, and he goes to her and asks about her illness. But she runs away saying that no one can help her. A few seconds later, the stranger reaches a room. There are a lot of CCTV monitors installed here. He is shocked to see that all the rooms are being monitored from here. He runs towards his room and checks every corner to find the hidden camera. Then the television suddenly starts. In it, the maid is seen giving pills to the traitor and bathing the old woman. And she is seen playing games with Ginny's lover. The stranger knew that something is fishy in the hotel. He suddenly comes out of the room and quietly goes to check the deserted room of the hotel. At the same time, the bartender spots him and gives him the key to that room. As soon as he goes inside, he sees a whole laboratory there, in which there are some books about different anti-acid syringes, blood vessels, and DNA change. After seeing all this, the stranger's suspicion increases, and he realizes that all this is illegal. After this, the stranger goes to the Ginny's room to find out that his lover is putting some illegal chemical in his body. The stranger meets his lover ahead. Soon, the hotel manager comes and catches him and locks him in his room. In the next scene, the bartender goes to the maid and forces her to stop the stranger. First, she refuses. When he threatens to burn his beloved doll, she agrees to the compulsion. The maid goes to the stranger's room and starts taking off her clothes in front of him. But the stranger knows that she is being forced, so he decides to run away from the hotel with her. On the other hand, the bartender, who is watching him from the control room, alerts the guards and tells them to stop running. As soon as they hear the order, they immediately start following the stranger and the maid. It seems as if they are being controlled by the hotel manager's computer system. The manager tries to stop his son from putting the entire hotel system in danger, but the bartender locks him in the control room. He tries to escape, but he accidentally hits his head hard on the door, causing him to die on the spot. Meanwhile, the stranger and the maid reach the exit door. Only then the stranger feels a sudden pain in his heart, causing him to fall on the ground. He tries to get up and run, but then the bartender comes there and makes him unconscious. The rest of the guests then catch the maid and forcefully take off her clothes. After this, the bartender opens his belt and beats the maid a lot. In the last scene, the stranger comes to his senses and sees the maid's dead body on the floor. Seeing this, he bursts into tears. He rushes towards her, pulls her towards the exit, where the paralyzed woman is also lying dead. In a sobbing voice, he sings the same song for the maid's soul that she sang that night, and gives her the homage. And with this, the movie ends.